then you expect that to happen in a clock-like fashion over time. And these guys are saying that doesn't happen. They go on, the pedigree rate of substitution is significantly less than the molecular rate of mitochondrial DNA mutation, but greater than the zone of the phylogenetic rate estimates. In other words, the pedigree rates and the phylogenetic rates, even though there's a zone of phylogenetic rates, the pedigree rates are still out of the zone, typically. Why would there be any difference between rate estimates if there's a simple mitochondrial DNA molecular clock? And that is a very good question. Why is there a difference between the theory and what they actually find in the pedigrees? This is the final statement of this article. In our contrary view, based both on our research and that of many other groups, that mitochondrial DNA evolution is not clock-like and that the evidence for time-dependent rates should not be dismissed. When it comes to mitochondrial DNA, one should not use a sundial as a stopwatch. Now, what they're arguing in this particular one is they're trying to reconcile the fact that there's this huge difference, sometimes 2 orders of magnitude or 100 times much difference in the phylogenetic rates versus the pedigree rates. And the way that they're trying to reconcile this now is they're saying, well, maybe way back when, several million years ago, the rate was much more stable. In other words, things didn't evolve as quickly as they're evolving now. And so maybe it was 15,000 years back then between mutations. And now what we see is a much accelerated rate now in the at the time frames now. What did Joseph Smith know about the geography of the Book of Mormon? This is very compelling to me because in September of 1830, the Lord commanded Joseph Smith to take the gospel unto the Lamanites. This is recorded in Doctrine and Covenants, section 28, verse 8. And now, behold, I say unto you that you shall go unto the Lamanites and preach my gospel unto them. Now this, by the way, is the Lord talking. It's not Joseph Smith just picking the word Lamanites out of thin air. Okay, and as you read, if you read Doctrine and Covenants, section 28, it's the Lord speaking in first person. And now, behold, I say unto you that you, meaning Oliver Cowdery, shall go unto the Lamanites and preach my gospel unto them. Then in Doctrine and Covenants, section 30, verses 5 and 6, in October, this is just a couple of weeks later, behold, I say unto you that you shall take your journey with your brother Oliver Cowdery, for I have given unto him power to build up my church among the Lamanites. And again, this is the Lord's choice of words, the Lamanites. Doctrine and Covenants, section 32, verses 1 and 2, and now concerning my servant Parley P. Pratt, and that which I have appointed unto him is that he shall go with my servants, Oliver Cowdery and Peter Whitmer Jr., into the wilderness among the Lamanites. This is about 3 or 4 times here that the Lord uses the term Lamanites in talking about who these missionaries are going to be sent to go preach the gospel. And where did they go? Well, according to the autobiography of Parley P. Pratt, thus ended our first Indian mission, in which we had preached the gospel in its fullness and distributed the record of their forefathers among 3 tribes. Where were these tribes located? In Buffalo, New York, in Ohio, in Missouri. And what I find incredibly compelling is that the first missionaries who were sent unto the Lamanites went to tribes which today harbor haplogroup X DNA. Now, how did Joseph Smith know that? You see, there's only one way. Joseph Smith did not have a team of genetic experts to consult with to know where to send these missionaries to people who would be actually have in their blood the lineage of the house of Israel. There's only one way that Joseph Smith would have known that, and that is he was a prophet of God. Now, who were some of these Algonquin tribes again? You remember the Sac and the Fox and the Ojibwe Indians. Just a month before Joseph Smith's death, he met with the Sac and the Fox. Well, this is when he met with them previously, on Thursday, August the 12th of 1841. As I accordingly went down and met Keokuk, Kishkanush, Apanos, and about 100 chiefs and braves of these tribes, the Sac and the Fox, with their families. I conducted them to the meeting grounds in the grove, and instructed them in many things which the Lord had revealed unto me concerning their fathers, and the promises that were made concerning them in the Book of Mormon. I don't know how Joseph Smith could have been any more clear about the fact that he had received revelation from the Lord, that he knew that the Book of Mormon was in fact about their fathers. And that's why he was helping them to understand the promises that were made to them in the Book of Mormon. I believe that Joseph Smith knew exactly who he was sending those missionaries to. I believe he knew that they have in their lineage haplogroup X, which harkens back to the Mediterranean area. The DNA is showing at least the preponderance of evidence that the Book of Mormon claim that there was a group that came out of the Mediterranean and established a population in the Americas is something that we can say has robust evidence now in favor of it. It does not prove it, but it certainly has. If the dating aspect is in fact wrong in the rate estimates of arriving here 30,000 years ago, if you apply the pedigree dating rate with what has been proposed from the phylogenetic rate, you end up with being able to have haplogroup X DNA coming into the Americas in the same time frames as the Book of Mormon claim. And I think that that is very powerful. There's more evidence that will be coming out. I believe that as it comes out, we will find additional evidence strengthening the claims of the Book of Mormon because it is true.